Hello, welcome to this spooky recipe. Welcome to my kitchen, and today we're going to make some really fun Halloween skulls, Day of the Dead style and skeleton style. So we're going to make them with red velvet. So I'm going to show you, we're going to use these. These are really super skull pans. So we're going to use these and we're going to bake red velvet cakes in them. So they're all ready inside, and then we're going to decorate them in a couple of different ways. So we're going to make the sponge first of all. Oh, where's my paddle? I've actually lost it. Right, whenever you're doing videos, always be prepared. Golden caster sugar, unrefined, and some soft butter. Biff that in there. Oh, it's a bit spooky, there's lots of spiders everywhere. Do you like my special spatula? Give it a cream. If you haven't got one of these, just do it by hand. Scrape it down. You need to cream it till it's really pale and fluffy, so probably be a couple of minutes. Okay, so that's gone nice and pale and creamy now. So now I'm going to add my eggs. Just add them one at a time. They're all mixed in. Just give it another scrape around. Red velvet's kind of quite a sort of silky textured sponge, maybe some chocolate, some cocoa powder. So we're going to do that now. So I've got some cocoa powder here, and I've also got about a teaspoon of strong red food colouring. Biff that in, and so add some spooky vanilla extract to that. A couple of teaspoons, and then you just need to give it a mix. And we're going to make a paste. So you also add a few tablespoons of hot water. So I've boiled the kettle, and it's not boiling, but it is hot. Just add that to the cocoa powder. So you've got a red chocolatey paste. So there you go. So I'm going to add that into my mixing bowl. Give that a mix so it's all incorporated. So I've got a whole pot of buttermilk, and I just need to add about a teaspoon of salt to this. Pop that in there and just give it a mix. Buttermilk and flour in sort of about a third at a time in alternating increments until it's all mixed. The last bit, you just need to add a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, a teaspoon of vinegar, and just mix it together, and it will puff up and go foamy like that. You can see. Just mix it together and just combine that into your mixture, and that's all done. So I'm going to put this into my skull pan now. Got lots of impressions in there, so I'm going to spray it with a little bit of cake release spray, just so that they turn out nice and easily. Just kind of filled them up about 2/3 full, 2/3 to 3/4. But yeah, once you've got everything into your tray, pop it in the oven, not the fridge, I was going to say the fridge, I don't want to do that. Pop them in the oven for about 20 minutes. Don't open the oven. With red velvet it can be a bit temperamental, so keep the oven closed 20 minutes. Then check it, and it'll probably take about 25 to 30 minutes, and you just want to make sure that when you test them the knife comes out clean. So I'm going to pop those in the oven now. So they're all done now. Here we go, look at those. Really good, so much detail on there, and it's just all come out of the pan, so I don't have to do any work, and they're going to look really cool. So they're cooled down. Now these are red velvet cakes, so as you guys know who like cakes, cream cheese frosting is the best friend of red velvet cakes. I've got some cream cheese frosting. And I don't want to kind of split and fill these or anything, but I've had kind of an idea that I'm going to just inject them with some frosting. So when we bite into them, you're going to have some like delicious pockets of frosting. So I've just got a piping bag, and I'm just going to literally just jam it in there and force in some blobs. I can feel the cake kind of expanding in my hand. I'm going to reload my bag. bag now. So they are all nice and stuffed with cream cheese frosting, so there's that hidden surprise in there. Now we're going to cover them with the icing so we can decorate them. Icing sugar. I'm just going to dust the surface. When you're working with sugar paste, you kind of want to work with it quite quickly, so I'm going to prepare the cakes just by brushing them with a little bit of warmed apricot jam, which we've just boiled. So just brush them all over the skulls, just so they go completely sticky. So they are all sticky and jammed. So now I can roll out my icing. I'm going to wash my hands because I don't want any red bits in my crispy white coating. Just regular sugar paste. It's just regular ice or sugar paste. So I just kind of knead it just so it becomes nice and pliable. So I just kind of roll it into a bit of a sausage shape to start with. And then press it down. A bit more icing sugar. Make sure you keep putting plenty of icing sugar because it's really sticky. So I'm going to roll it fairly thinly, about 1/2 centimetre now. That's kind of about what I'm looking for. I don't want it to be too thin, but I want it to be thin enough so once the icing goes over the skulls, you can see all the kind of little details from the sponges, so maybe a tiny bit more. I reckon this will do 4, so I'm going to cut that into 4. So now you just need to get your sponges. Now take your icing, lay it over your sponge, so just kind of let it lay on. I've got some modelling tools here now. These are quite handy. You can get them in loads of shops now. This one's a ball tool, so I'm just going to kind of like push that down into the eye sockets and just start using my fingers to kind of push the icing on. So literally just use your fingers, very light touch, just rubbing it over the sponge, just like that. This just kind of clings on nicely. So now that's all over my sponge there. So now I'm going to kind of start to bring out a bit of the details. You can even go on online and buy dentist tools, which are about £2. They've got all of these kind of like shapes on them. So yeah, just push that in there to kind of like show the skull. And then for the nose, I'm just going to kind of go in the indentation there. So I'm just bringing out all of those details that were on the sponge and then just kind of massage over. And I can see a little bit of the cake sponge colour coming through, but for the white ones, that's what I want because I'm going to use some shading. So that's done. And now I'm just going to repeat that with all my other ones. So just check them all out. I'm going to give this one a bit more detail here. I'm going to kind of go around leaving like a few millimetres extra. And you can just wrap this up and reuse it, because I like to pick them up and just kind of like fold them over like this because it looks neater. I'm going to make it a little bit sticky there, so when I fold it over it'll be a bit better. Stick over a bit more. There we go. So they're all covered. So it's kind of a good idea to let them dry. And I'm going to show you a couple of ways to decorate these. These are really fun, and I love the Day of the Dead ones. So I've made some earlier, which I have hidden somewhere. I've lost them. Where's I put them? So these are the ones I've been messing about with earlier, and they're all dry. So we've got our white ones, nice and dry now. And I also covered some in black, because I'm just going to show you really cute way of making them Day of the Dead, which I love. So let's just have a play about. You can be creative with this, but I'm going to show you a couple of my favourite ways. I've got some more of that dusting powder that I use a lot. So this is literally just a cake food colouring dust. I'm going to put a little bit of this on the paper. And this is just a really quick, easy way to get some shading on the skulls. So really won't take long at all. So I've got a soft brush. I'm just going to rub that dust onto the brush and then just kind of like go inside the eye cavities. And I'm just going to kind of like dust over really. So do there, into the nose, and you can kind of go over the edges a bit just so it kind of looks really shadowed. So they're super cool. They look really quite gross and skull-like really. And then if you want to do the more kind of colourful ones, I'm just going to use royal icing again. So just take a blank one like this. You can use like any little small cutters you want to add kind of pops of colour. So I've rolled out some icing which I'm just going to pop over here. It's quite nice to just kind of have some like flowery ones for the eye socket, so I'm just going to punch out, just do a couple of blue flower shapes, pop it just over the top of the eye socket, and then just push that in with my modelling tool. So you can see already getting kind of pops of colour, and you get, with the Mexican skulls, you've got as many colours as you want to put on there. The more you put on there, the better they're going to look. We've got loads of royal icing, so I'm just going to be really freestyle and just do some random colours. So a couple of blobs for the eyes, just some swirly piping, just kind of let it just wiggle all over the skull, just dots. You can even do sort of tiny flowers and cut out little shapes, just kind of going like this. Just literally randomly go over this wherever you want, so trace over the shapes, the lines. You're just doodling on them wherever you want with colourful icing, and the more you put on, the better they're going to look, so just keep adding and adding and adding. So I'm going to call him Don. Hello Don. There he is. So just have fun with those. Everything you need to make them is just down there. If you do make them, I'd love to see any photos, so do tag me on Instagram. More videos coming every week, so please subscribe, and happy Halloween.